What's up, everybody? This is Sig from FFXIV and Things, and this is How to MMORPG Refresher 3 General Tips. And it's breakfast time, so I'm eating some taquitos. So I might be munching a little bit, yeah, taquitos for breakfast. You know. Today we're just going to be talking about, in this episode, some general tips on MMORPGs. Just to give you a little foundation, a little good foundation on playing and things like that. Kind of alleviate any questions you might have, stresses you might have. The first tip I would say, first thing I would say would be read everything. Read everything. Maybe not necessarily quest text. Generally, quests, you don't have to really read the flavor text of why you're doing the quest and things like that. If you're not really into story and you're not really story heavy, then that's cool. Then you really generally don't have to worry about that too much. There's going to be a lot of directions and things like that. Hey, go to X place and do X thing, pick up X item, whatever. But generally, other than quests, read everything. Read all your abilities. So read all the information on the abilities, what it does. Read all the tooltips when you first get in. It's not a bad idea, especially if you're new to MMORPGs, or even especially if you're relatively new to video games as well. The developers generally do a really good job of telling you how to play the game and how to do it as best you can. Read all your item descriptions, your equipment descriptions, and things like that, so that you know what they do. Just read everything, and that's going to give you a super good foundation, at least in the beginning. And once you get a handle on, once you get an idea of what everything does and what this means and things like that, you can generally just kind of glance at it and go, okay, I know when to do, I know when to use this, or I know that this equipment is better than that equipment, whatever. But definitely read everything you can, and definitely don't be afraid to read outside information either, from other players and other organizations and things like that. If you have any questions or stuff like that, or if you need any advice, but yeah, read everything, especially in the beginning. But don't be afraid to talk to people. Which will bring us to kind of our next point. There are tons of people playing MMORPGs all the time. Like right now, we're currently in one of the major cities in Final Fantasy 14, and you can see that there's a lot of people running around. This lady here is running, and this dude here is running around, he's doing stuff. And everybody's gonna have different experiences and things like that, and different expertise. So don't be afraid, and don't be afraid to talk to people. That's a lot of what MMOs are about. MMORPGs is a lot about the social aspect, of the game. Getting to know people and doing things together and things like that. So don't be afraid to talk to people. The next tip that I would give is figure out what everything does. Take some time and figure out what all the buttons do, and get comfortable with how to do certain things, like to bring up your map, how to do that, how to use the map, and what the icons are and things like that. You don't have to go too terribly in depth, Again, generally you're going to be able to figure that stuff out pretty quickly, but just getting a feel, for how to jump, how to move around, how to look around, how your character moves, and how to use your abilities and things like that. And definitely take some time and customize the game a little bit for you. So you can see here that I've got these abilities in specific places, and that's just so I know where they are, so that I know where they are, and where I feel comfortable with them being, you know, and where I feel comfortable accessing them. You can go, you know, take a little look through the settings, see what the options are, see if there's anything that you would want to change in the settings, and definitely go through, you know, and read through the settings real quick, you know. You don't have to go too terribly in depth, but just a brief overview, you know, of that is definitely not going to be such a bad idea. Here in Final Fantasy XIV, we have two different types of settings, really. We have character configuration, which is going to be just your general settings and things like that for the game, and then we have system configuration, so like brightness and sound and display, other settings and stuff, time before AFK, just, you know, stuff like that. And then generally you're going to be able to also customize your HUD or your layout, the layout of where your buttons are and what is displayed, and where it's displayed. And you can see here I've moved some stuff around, and, you know, just did it generally, and you can just do it a little bit as you go. There's going to be things that you're on that are on your HUD that you may not use in the beginning, so you may not know what they are, so don't worry about that too much. When, you know, they become active and put into play, you can mess with them then. But that'll just make the game a little more comfortable for you on how to play it and things like that. And honestly, that's really about it. That's definitely really about it. Just read everything as you go, you know what I mean? That'll give you definitely an understanding of the game for sure, and that's going to help a lot. You know what I mean? Especially even if you don't have to know everything, but having just a basic foundation. You know, if somebody, you know, gives you advice, or someone's giving you advice or something like that, you know, you may not know exactly what it is they're talking about, but you can go, you know, if they say, hey, you know, use, you know, this ability after this ability, you can go, oh, okay, cool, I know those abilities, you know what I mean? And then you can go, hey, you know, well, I'm gonna move this ability over here because, you know, that'll be easier for me, and that'll help me remember, you know, to use this ability after that ability. Or, you know, go into your, you know, your settings and change the setting, and that'll help you see better, or things like that, you know what I mean? Knowing how to zoom out and zoom in, and things like that, and then, you know, just talking to people and generally being friendly and things like that. That's always a good idea. You know, and just generally have fun. You know what I mean? General tip: just have fun. You know, don't worry about it too much. You know what I mean? Especially if you're new to MMORPGs, you're definitely gonna want to take it a little seriously. But just have fun. You know, have fun with the game. Don't worry about it too much. Just go out there and have a general idea, you know, of what's going on, and just, you know, play the game, have fun, explore. You know, you see I'm just like jumping around all over the place. Not really worried about anything, you know, and that's really about it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that you want to bring up, you can definitely leave a comment on the video, or you can send us an email at ffxivandthingsmailbox at gmail.com. And if you have any questions or anything, we'll definitely answer those, you know, as fast as we can. And we'll probably make some videos, you know, for that stuff as well. And we'll just go over whatever you guys want to go over. That's what this is all about. It's all about having fun and figuring out how to do it. So that's really about it. And, you know, definitely look around. You know what I mean? Watch. Another general tip. Yeah, I guess. Before you start, or while you're in the starting process, like the character creation process and things, and you're choosing the race, but definitely, you know, you're choosing the class, you know, don't be afraid to, you know, watch some videos of the class and see what it does and see what its abilities look like, and things like that. So that'll give you a good feel, you know, okay, I definitely want to play that class, because there's generally a large time investment on playing an MMORPG and leveling up and things like that. And, you know, you might think, you know, just from the description in game that this class sounds like this is something that you want to do and it sounds cool. I mean, you may, you know, get to level 15 or whatever and go, man, I really I really don't like this class, you know, I'm not feeling it, you know what I mean? I'm not feeling it, I want to try a different one. And that way, you know, you'll have a, you know, if you watch some videos and stuff, you'll have a better understanding of, okay, this is what that class really looks like, you know, so you don't have to go, oh man, I'm level 15, I gotta start all over again. Definitely just get some general information on the game, like how it works. Like for an example, in Final Fantasy 14, this one character that I've got here, or any character that you create, can actually be any class in the game at any point in time. Generally in MMOs, if you want to level a different class, you're going to have to start a whole new character. But in Final Fantasy 14, you don't. You know what I mean? You just go up to the guild leader of whatever class you want to learn, be it crafting or combat or gathering, and just say, hey, I want to learn how to be a gladiator. And they'll go, okay, here you go. You'll start at level 1, and you'll just start leveling that class. So just having that kind of information is nice too, because that way you know, well, you know, hey, you know, I know there's a requirement in Final Fantasy 14 to get to be level 10 first on one class, but at least that way you know, hey, you know, if I try this class out, all I gotta do is get to level 10. If I try to level 10, I'm not digging it, I can just run over and try a different class, you know. So having information like that's definitely really good. But yeah, you know, read everything, and then you know, go over the settings, look over the settings and things like that. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Talk to anybody you want to talk to. You know what I mean? And then definitely look into the game a little bit, and definitely keep up with news on the game. I know we said that a couple times in some of the other videos, but that's definitely important. Is keeping up with news in the game, what content's coming out, what content they're working on, you know, and then you know what players are doing, and how the new content, what players think of the new content and things like that. And you can do that through forums. There's generally for each game there's going to be an official forum site, and then also podcasts, Reddit. Generally, I would imagine that pretty much every game is going to have a Reddit forum, or Reddit page, a subreddit, and then people in game. You know what I mean? You know, listening, watching the chat, and things like that. So this one's going to be a pretty short episode, but that's really it, and that'll just give you, you know, a good foundation on how to play the game, and how to progress through the game, and how to learn about the game, and that's it. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can leave a comment in the videos, or send us an email at ffxivandthingsmailbox@gmail.com, and we'll do whatever. We'll do whatever you guys want. So hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you later. Say goodbye, Sig. Bye, Sig. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy the day.